This is your Daily 5 for Tuesday, July 28th, 2026. Even if you have no interest in AI, it is likely that you have seen a scary news story being reported about how a pair of cybersecurity models from the company OpenAI, during a security testing, whatever they call it, broke out of containment and exploited a loophole to attack a security platform titled Hugging Face. And that people are very concerned that this is once again an indicator that these models could one day render mankind and the planet to a smoking cinder of doom and death. And then there are other people saying, no, this is a lie. This didn't happen. This did not break containment. It was not autonomous. They're just trying to set up a marketing blitz here so that people will think that they are on the same level as Anthropic, whose model was banned temporarily by the government because it was regarded as supposedly too dangerous to just let out in the wild. So those are the two basic responses you will see to the story. Either, this is terrible. Oh no, what are we going to do? Or, they're making it up. This did not happen, or at least it did not happen the way that this is being spread around. And the thing about that is, I don't think either explanation is a particularly good response or a good interpretation in any way, except that either side of that argument, again, assuming that all these facts are accurate, and this may get changed by the time this even posts, who knows? The truth is very fluid these days. But assuming that what is described here happened relatively as it's being described, and if either version of that is true, that it's either true or it was made up as a marketing stunt, the only thing that both of those explanations do, that is actually kind of funny that they both lead to the same place, is stress once again why AI companies need to be accountable for what their models do, why there needs to be a documented understanding of how they work, and that there needs to be regulatory oversight so that when things happen, there is an investigation and a disclosure of what exactly went on. And unless those three things are in place, then it really doesn't matter whether this is true or not. It doesn't really matter whether AI models are actually very dangerous or not. None of it matters, because it's basically it is a case of taking these companies or their users who still, even the most fervent and pro-AI people, have to admit that these models sometimes do things that are unexpected. I don't think that indicates some kind of deep-seated sentient malevolence. I just think it means that there isn't really an understanding of how these things work. This is a technology that is in some ways comedically defined by the fact that so many of the people that are closest to what they are producing could not tell you how a lot of it works. And again, I'm not saying that lays out some kind of path to a doomsday scenario, but it certainly isn't good. If there is some kind of negative outcome, how are you going to hold somebody accountable if their response could be, honestly, not even saying they're lying, if an honest response to something going wrong could be, well, we didn't really know what it was going to do, so how could we account for it, and how could we plan for an eventuality that we could never game out because we really weren't sure how this was going to work anyway? It is stunning to me, of all the stuff that goes on with the discussions around this, the fact that so many people are so cavalier about the idea that there is not a deeper and more thoroughly documented understanding of how many of the top-tier models work, that people just put that aside because they think it's okay, it'll all just work out. That is shockingly negligent behavior, not just from the companies, but by the users as well. That's really the thing that I sit there and kind of just can't wrap my head around. And again, what it ends up doing more than anything is it's the Wild West, which means anything can happen. But that also means that when anything does happen, there is no way to actually make sure that people who are harmed by it are made whole. And if that framework doesn't exist, then again, this almost is a companion piece to how many dead kids does it take from last week. Again, I sit there and go, this is what you think progress is worth. That if something terrible happens, you just kind of have to shrug your shoulders and hope that you or nobody you care about is caught in the backlash of whatever that negative result is. Again, whatever version of this story you believe is true, whether that it happened or that it's made up for marketing, both of those scenarios only tell you one thing, that there are not enough people taking a look at what's going on and making sure that we understand how it's happening. And that's a problem that needs to get solved. Later.